again, Peabody here. Today's adventure into the past concerns itself with a notorious bandit.
I'll bet it's Tommy Riley.
Who is Tommy Riley, Sherman?
He's a kid that lives next door.
And he's a bandit?
Well, he cheats at marbles.
The bandit we're going to visit cheated at everything. We're off to Missouri, my boy, in the year 1872, and the subject of our trip, Jesse James. Transportation, courtesy of the Wayback Machine, was breathtaking. However, we were a trifle surprised to discover the Wayback deposited us aboard a train.
Something must be wrong with the Wayback, Mr. Peabody. I don't see Jesse James.
We didn't see anyone, for that matter. The car was empty, or was, until the conductor entered.
Mr. Conductor, could you tell us, please, sir, if...
Down, Sherman. Down, boy.
What is it, Mr. Peabody?
The train is being attacked. A strategically placed boulder caused the train to grind to a halt.
All right, you varmints. Disembark that train.
Well, the only varmints on the train were Sherman, yours truly, the engineer, and the aforementioned conductor. And the conductor had a gun.
Oh, boy, I'll bet he'll surprise somebody.
He did. Us.
Is that all the passengers, Jesse?
That's all, Frank. This is going to be one of our poorest robberies yet.
Oh, my gosh, the conductor's Jesse James.
And the other is his brother, Frank. We were ordered to surrender all our valuables.
1 oil can, a package of bubble gum, and a copy of the journal.
Of course, the journal was mine.
This is what I call a pretty poor haul.
Listen, Jesse, why don't we shoot these here critters and steal the train?
Now, what would we do with the train?
Put it under the tree next Christmas?
Frank. You may be my brother, but you're pretty dumb. You know we ain't got no tree. Now, let's get going. We sure was lucky, mister. We lost an oil can, some bubble gum, and a newspaper. We could have lost our lives. Well, I'll get old Bessie fired up and we'll get out of here.
The engineer miscalculated our total loss. It seemed we were also minus one little boy. Sherman. Sherman!
If you're looking for the little feller, he rode that away.
With Jesse James?
Right. One of them outlaws tossed our valuables into a sack, and the little boy, he crawled inside to get his gum back. You coming, mister? I got a schedule to keep.
No, you go ahead. I have some retrieving to do. Being an ace tracker, and an ace everything as far as that's concerned, I was able to reach the James cabin by nightfall.
Then it's all settled. We'll stick up the Denver bank at 9 tomorrow.
But Denver's in Colorado, Jesse.
See, that's right. Well, we'll make a St. Louis then. All right, hit the hay, boys. We got some hard riding ahead of us.
No sooner were the desperados asleep than I entered their hideout and cautiously approached the sack lying in the corner. Sherman?
That's you, Mr. Peabody?
Be very quiet. I threw the sack over my shoulder and tried to sneak back out of the cabin. Unfortunately...
Hey, what's going on here?
Shh, shh, shh. Go back to sleep. And a Merry Christmas to you.
Oh, thank you, Sandy.
Once outside the shack, I emptied the contents of the sack.
Hi, Mr. Peabody.
We must warn the bank, my boy, that Jesse James intends to rob it.
Won't Jesse get to St. Louis before we do?
I doubt it. You see, I took the oil can and liberally greased the corral. Even at that moment, Jesse and his boys were going in every direction but St. Louis.
Are you sure the James gang is coming?
Positive, sir. We delayed them for an hour or so, but they'll be here. By the way, where are the gold sacks?
On the floor there. But look, Mr. Peabody, if your plan don't work...
My plans always work. Sherman and I transported the heavy sacks to a balcony just over the front entrance. We didn't have long to wait before...
It's Jesse James. He's riding into town on some slippery horses.
Now remember, Sherman, aerial bombardment is quite simple if you keep your eye on the target and allow for the wind. You can imagine what a shock it was to the first outlaw who entered the bank.
Hands up, everybody. This here's...
14 men demanded gold and got it. However, Jesse and Frank James weren't among them. In fact, as we glanced out a window, they and a bearded man blowing a bugle went riding out of town.
Well, we saved the bank, Mr. Peabody, but the James brothers got away.
Yes, that fellow blew his bugle and alarmed Jesse and Frank.
Wonder who he was.
That's their younger brother, undoubtedly the most talented bearded bugler of all time.
Really? I don't think I've ever heard of him.
You never heard of Harry James?